you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in, be counted, be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just...
This is America's Voice Live.
And welcome to America's Voice Live. I'm Steve Gruber.
The pulse of the people.
We need somebody that's going to hear the people's voice.
The truth the mainstream won't touch.
This guy is, by definition, a globalist.
And the stories that matter.
Rav's own Ben Berquam.
Right up over this hill, yellow on Cartel. I see him.
Live.
Breaking news right now here on Real America's Voice.
Unfiltered.
These people are domestic terrorists.
And unapologetic.
We're here to take a stand for God and country. Does feel good, doesn't it?
America's Voice Live starts now.
Welcome to America's Voice Live. I'm Steve Gruber. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of February, the year of our Lord 2026. Let's get to the day's top stories. As always, thank you for joining us here on Real America's Voice. We appreciate you stopping by. The Trump administration announcing that Mexican drug cartels flew drones into U.S. airspace near El Paso International Airport, triggering a swift military response and underlining the importance of addressing national security threats before anything drastic happens. We'll have more on that coming up today. Also, Attorney General Pam Bondi testified on Capitol Hill today, where she answered questions from the House Judiciary Committee regarding immigration enforcement, as well as the Epstein files, of course. It gets that hearing on Rav's social media. I'll bring on an expert to discuss it as well. And then later, the University of Florida offering a sociology course that apparently teaches students to analyze who should be allowed to have children, including discussions about transgender reproduction. Wow. All that and more coming your way. But first, I want to start with DHS. Yesterday showcased something the fake news desperately wants to bury: the truth about what's really happening at our borders and in many of our cities. While the liberal media spins tales of atrocities and murder by masked agents, patriots from ICE, CBP, and USCIS stepped up in front of the House Homeland Security Committee and laid out the facts. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott, and USCIS Director Joseph Edlow didn't back down. Instead, they delivered. And what they delivered was proof that President Trump's America First agenda is working, delivering results and finally putting American safety first after years of open border chaos. Let's start with the numbers, because the numbers don't lie, even if CNN and MSNBC do. Director Lyons told the committee straight up, in just the past year, ICE has conducted more than 475,000 removals. It's not a typo. 475,000 criminal aliens, gangbangers, traffickers, and threats to our communities sent packing back to their home countries. Here are a few more of the numbers. Listen.
Since the beginning of the second Trump administration, we have achieved historic results. From January 20th, 2025 through January 20th, 2026, ICE has conducted nearly 379,000 arrests. Among those arrests were more than 7,000 suspected gang members and over 1,400 known as suspected terrorists. The president tasked us with mass deportation, and we are fulfilling that mandate. Thanks to the resources provided by this Congress, we are ramping up detention capabilities and removal flights daily. In the last year alone, we conducted over 475,000 removals. It's a brutal reality that criminal immigration today is organized by sophisticated, ruthless, transnational criminal organizations. These include cartels and transnational gangs President Trump has rightly designated as foreign terrorist organizations.
Now, thanks to the funding Congress has provided, detention capacity is ramping up. Removal flights are leaving daily, and we're finally reversing the Biden-era catch-and-release disaster that turned our neighborhoods into danger zones. This isn't cruelty. This is competence. This is what happens when you elect a president who keeps his promises: mass deportations without apology, securing the homeland like we haven't seen in decades, and more. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Director Joseph Edlow shared some shocking statistics about the fraud that he's uncovered. Here he is.
Over the past year, USCIS has made nearly 33,000 fraud referrals to law enforcement, a 138% increase over previous years. We conducted thousands of site visits to homes and workplaces and thousands of social media checks to ensure aliens aren't espousing anti-American sentiment. Moreover, our fraud detection and national security team completed over 21,000 investigations, identifying fraud in approximately 65% of those cases. In Operation Twin Shield in Minneapolis-St. Paul back in the fall, we uncovered marriage fraud, visa misuse, and student visa abuses, leading to denials of immigration benefits, arrests, and removal proceedings. This work led to Operation Paris, where we continue re-examining thousands of refugee cases in Minnesota, conducting thorough background checks and in-person reviews.
Pretty eye-opening, isn't it? USCIS, DHS, ICE. Those agents are all risking their lives trying to make America a better place to live for you and I, and they are succeeding. But you wouldn't know it if you watched the mainstream media. You wouldn't know that at all. State and local officials in places like Minnesota are still refusing to cooperate. Democrat lawmakers in this very hearing demonized our law enforcement agents. Sanctuary policies are emboldening criminals. And when agents move in to enforce the law, they get demonized. Things can also get very volatile. That's not on the agents. That's on the radicals who turn routine enforcement into street confrontations, and on elected officials who accuse ICE of invading Minneapolis. Representative August Pfluger pointed out that lie during questioning. Here he is.
How did it make you feel as somebody who carries out the laws that this body has passed when you hear the mayor of Minneapolis say F ICE?
Oh, sir, I mean, from a morale standpoint, it hurts us, to the fact that for decades, and I've worked since President Bush, ICE has always been in Minneapolis. We've always been in every major city and state. So it wasn't like it was a brand new thing. We've always been doing immigration enforcement. So that's demoralizing.
Yeah, very demoralizing. Now, let's talk about Minneapolis head on, because the left is still milking those shootings for every drop of outrage they can squeeze. Renee Good shot January the 7th after an encounter escalated. Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse, shot January 24th while recording agents and interfering during arrests. The media calls them innocent protesters, victims of masked government thugs. But let's be real. These weren't peaceful bystanders minding their own business. Videos show escalation, resistance, crowds surrounding officers, chaotic scenes where agents feared for their lives. Lyons committed to turning over full unabridged investigation reports once complete. Body cameras now being expanded under the Secretary Noem's direction. They're coming, and they'll show the truth about future interactions. These are justified uses of force in high-risk operations. Why would Secretary Noem be interested in deploying body cameras if she suspected that agents are violating human rights? Representative Eric Swalwell tried to paint ICE agents in a bad light, of course, with a hypothetical situation. But Director Lyons wasn't biting. Instead, he set the record straight. Here it is.
A couple nights ago, I met with a woman who works as a cashier at a grocery store, and I told her I was coming to see you, Mr. Lyons, and she said, will you ask him, and she didn't want to give her name. She was terrified to give her name. But she said, when I get off my shift around midnight and I walk through the parking lot to my car, she said, if somebody rolls up in an unidentified van and gets out wearing all black and their face is covered and they don't have any identification and they ask me to get into the van, how do I know who they are? How does she know, Mr. Lyons? How does she know if they're an ICE agent or bad guys?
Sir, ICE agents have identifiable placards on their uniforms as well as their badges, representative. But you won't see ICE agents rolling through the parking lots and just snatching someone up. ICE does intelligence-driven, targeted enforcement operations.
Yeah, there you go. It tells you everything you need to know about the Democrats' playbook. They want to get enraged over hypotheticals while they stayed silent during the very real terror that illegal aliens caused Americans for 4 years. Compare that to the Biden years. Millions pouring in. Fentanyl killing kids. MS-13 running wild under Trump. We're hitting back hard. with Operation Metro Surge and interior enforcement that, well, actually works. Incidents like Goods and Preddy's deaths are rare tragedies, and yes, they are tragedies, but it's in part of a massive necessary operation, an operation made necessary by the previous administration. The real outrage? How Democrats exploit them to push reforms that would handcuff our agents. Unmasking requirements, judicial warrants for every home entry, bans near schools and churches. They want to neuter ICE right when we're finally winning. And if they can't do it with policy, they'll continue to push lies about ICE as part of their propaganda machine, like Swalwell just did during his questioning time. Here's more.
You now have a decision. Will you stand with the kids who you're supposed to protect, or will you side with the killers bringing terror to our streets? Mr. Lyons, will you resign from ICE?
No, sir, I won't.
Why not?
Because, sir, that child that you're showing right there, the men and women of ICE took care of him when his father abandoned him and ran from law enforcement.
Time has expired.
He never should have gone into custody.
Time has expired.
Convenient, isn't it? That Swalwell didn't allow Lyons enough time to actually tell the truth about what really happened to that young boy. But Democrats are threatening to do a lot more than just smear ICE. The DHS funding deadline coming Friday. Democrats are holding the entire department hostage, demanding dramatic changes that would gut enforcement, while the White House offer gets called insufficient. They're fine with a shutdown that cripples TSA, the Coast Guard, and FEMA, along with cybersecurity and everything DHS does to keep us safe, if it means protecting criminal illegals over American citizens, because that's what they want. Some lawmakers want more than just a funding freeze. Michigan's Congressman Sri Tenadar, who's only been living in the United States for about 24 years, wants to abolish ICE, which he made clear while he was lecturing CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott. Oh, it's quite something. Listen.
I'm not going to speak on behalf of President Trump, but I'll tell you, I signed up for this job to protect America, and I'm very proud of the service that I provide, and I don't need a pardon from anybody.
Well, you better hope so. You better hope you get being pardoned, because you will be held accountable for the absolute disregard of the law your agencies have shown over the past year. Your agencies have lost the trust of the American people, with millions taking to the streets to protect the illegal actions of your agencies. And that's why I introduced a bill in the United States Congress to abolish ICE. ICE must be abolished.
So ICE must be abolished. Scott doesn't need a lecture on immigration law from someone who's been living in our country for less time than he's been alive, or working for that matter. Sri Tenadar became a citizen in 1988. He went through the legal process. So why is it so criminal to expect other people to do the same thing? Lyons, Scott, and Edlow are executing the people's mandate from the 2024 election. They deserve medals, not restrictions and lectures. America, the choice is clear. We can let Democrats sabotage funding, the agents' hands, and invite more chaos, or we can stand with President Trump, flood DHS with more resources, and make our communities safer again. The hearing proved we're on the right path. The deportations are working. The removals are record-breaking. And come Thursday's Senate testimony, we'll see even more proof that America First is the only way forward. So call your representatives. Call your senators. Tell them no handcuffs on ICE, full funding, no strings from the left, because if we back down now, the invasion, well, it will resume. It will continue. But if we hold the line, we win for our families, our future, and our country. God bless America. God bless the men and women of ICE, CBP, and DHS, putting their lives on the line every day for you and for me. And that's the monologue. Coming up after the break, Cartel drones breached U.S. airspace near El Paso, forcing a military response and an airport shutdown. Details coming up, because it raises broader national security concerns, from border cartels to Chinese and Iranian threats. It's all up next on ABL.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rev has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rev. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in, be counted, be heard. Together, we are Rev.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
Hi, I'm Bridgie. And why do I love Rev? Well, even out here in the cornfields of Iowa, I still need news I can depend on. That is Real America's Voice.
I'm Lou, Mega Pilot from Rev's Tater Chat here in beautiful Trump County, Florida. The best place for real news is Real America's Voice.
Well, the Trump administration announced that Mexican drug cartels flew drones into U.S. airspace near El Paso International Airport on the Mexican border, triggering a swift military response. The breach forced the FAA to shut down the airport late Tuesday into this morning, citing special security concerns. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the cartel drone incursion was quickly neutralized and that there is no ongoing threat to commercial air travel. Airspace restrictions have also been lifted, and flights are resuming despite the original shutdown being announced for 10 days. While officials have not revealed how many drones were involved or exactly how they were taken down, the incident underscores growing national security concerns along the southern border. Any breach of American airspace raises serious questions about cartel capabilities, among other national security threats, like the Chinese Communist Party or Iran's nuclear program. Joining me to discuss these threats is the CEO of Black Ops Partners, National Security Advisor, and author of The Red Tsunami, The Silent Storm Killing Your Freedom, Casey Fleming. Casey, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Details are thin at this point, but originally when they came out, they said we're shutting the airport down for 10 days. As you know, El Paso sits right on the Mexican border. Donald Trump has determined that those drug cartels on the other side of the border are serious threats to American security. He called them terrorist organizations. When you see something like this, obviously it turned out to be less of a threat than we first thought, but important and telling just the same. Your thoughts?
Well, it shows exactly the partnership the cartels have had with the Chinese Communist Party around fentanyl, methamphetamines, and money laundering and human trafficking. This is just an extension of that with Chinese-made drones. And it's just surveillance and it's testing. It's doing dry runs and tests. The next is surveillance. After that is carrying weapons and then viruses potentially and so on. So it's something that's very serious. And the American people need to realize this is an attack on their freedom. Yes, it's sovereignty, but in the very basic sense, it's an attack on your freedom.
Yeah, you know, the area in and around El Paso is one of the most highly concentrated areas for the United States military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You've got the NSA there. I mean, it is a concentrated group of the most highly skilled professionals in America, and yet this happened. How sophisticated, Casey, are these cartels in 2026? They've got pretty much unlimited money. They've got access to Chinese technology. They have a willingness to do whatever it takes to protect their money. How should we handle this?
As a total national security threat, they have partnered with the Chinese Communist Party. And the Chinese Communist Party has stolen all of our innovation, our technology, our military secrets. So this is something that's extremely serious. It's not, oh, wow, it's just a news issue with El Paso today. It's a breach. It's a very serious breach to the American people. And the CCP is very sophisticated, and they've been training the Mexican cartels as well as other cartels, Colombian and so on, Venezuelan. But this is serious because this is just across our border, and it just shows you how vulnerable we are.
Yeah. So how do we react to this? We've already designated 6 cartels in Mexico as terrorist organizations, 2 more in Venezuela. I guess my question to you is, how wrapped up do you think Claudia Sheinbaum, the Mexican president, is in all of this corruption? Because, look, Mexico is a corrupt nation when it comes to politics and money. We know that. The cartels pay off people, and if you don't take the money, they kill you. I mean, that's pretty well documented. So how deep does the corruption go? What can be done about it from our side of the border? And is there a case? Is there a situation, a scenario where you would think that it would be appropriate for an American drone to go into Mexico and hammer one of these cartel operations?
Well, the answer is Sheinbaum is directed by the cartels. The cartels are in power. Sheinbaum, we all know that she's just a puppet. It's extremely serious. And yes, if they do anything nefarious across our border, in other words, any type of ammunition, ordnance, whatever, certainly going across as well. But there's also a national security threat, not just on the fentanyl, which incidentally is much bigger and more serious than we know as citizens. The numbers actually double than the government reports. And it's all these different methods of what's called unrestricted warfare. And I just released a book on this about a couple of weeks ago. It's called The Red Tsunami, and we cover the strategy. Our congressmen need to understand, every congressman needs to understand the strategy of the enemy. They are in a war today. We are, all of us, and we tell the government what to do. The government doesn't tell us what to do. So write your congressman and tell them, number one, read the book. And I'll tell you, as I present to both left, right, or all three, left, right, and center, the more the left understands what the strategy is, they understand that they're being played, just like the right is. So we all share a common enemy. It's the Chinese Communist Party, which is the grand puppeteer of what's going on. You're seeing it in all the chaos, Minneapolis, Davos, Venezuela, Iran. CCP is behind all of this and connected to all of this. El Paso is just another turn of events, another check mark on the action guide. So everybody needs to come together on what the facts are, what the intelligence is, and that's the reason I put forth the book 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, how long will it take for the American people to understand that war is not a binary question? That's the way we view it. We're either at war or we're not. The Chinese Communist Party doesn't see it that way at all. They believe they're at war with us because they are. On all those things you just laid out, Casey, they're coming at us financially, technically, philosophically, morally. Any place they can find a weakness, they're trying to make their way in. It needs to be stopped, but Americans only see war as a binary question. That has to change. Last word to you.
You're exactly right. The Chinese Communist Party redefined war 27 years ago with a book called The Unrestricted War by 2 Chinese colonels. They've executed masterfully. So that's what it is. And so we don't understand that. And it will never go to the military. The people who are on the front lines are every man, woman, and child. Thank you.
There you go. The book, The Red Tsunami, The Silent Storm Killing Your Freedom by Casey Fleming. Casey, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate it. There's a book. Go get it. Coming up after the break, Attorney General Pam Bondi testified on Capitol Hill today, where she answered questions from the House Judiciary Committee regarding immigration enforcement as well as the Epstein files. More of a war of words than anything else. Details coming up.
Exactly what they're doing. They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
January 6th wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted.
Seditious conspiracy.
But behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6th like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This is not the story you were shown.
I take responsibility.
This is the story they live.
Government entrapment scheme that this actually was.
The J6 Patriots are no longer staying silent. They are speaking, they are standing, and they are telling the truth.
You can't kill us. You can't beat us.
Scan the QR code or visit RealAmericasVoice.com. Real America's Voice presents The Sleeping Giant. Available now. Welcome to Real America's Voice Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with your Real America's Voice Real Minute. Did you ever wonder what truly happened in the COVID-19 pandemic and whether Anthony Fauci would ever be held accountable? I think we all have. Filmmaker Jenner First has an upcoming documentary that searches.
All right, Attorney General Pam Bondi testified on Capitol Hill today, at least she tried, in a heated House Judiciary Committee hearing, defending the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files and pushing back hard against Democrat attacks. Critics on the left accused the Department of Justice of sloppy redactions, but Bondi has maintained that her team followed the law and protected victim privacy under difficult legal constraints. She rebuffed partisan theatrics and shifted the focus to the DOJ's broader mission of law and order under President Trump, highlighting how the administration is enforcing accountability rather than chasing political headlines. Join me to discuss DOJ reporter for the Washington Examiner, Kayla Deese. Kayla, nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me back on, Steve.
I know you had a chance to watch part of the hearings. It's more of the same. It's Democrat theatrics. There's no real questions here. They're working for social media sound bites more than anything else, trying to keep the propaganda machine well fed, it seems to me. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was hard to pay attention to the actual substance of the matter when I had Jasmine Crockett basically whispering off to the side of me today, basically making these kind of brash comments about the Attorney General. You could tell that there was a lot of lack of manners and discourse that was coming from the Democratic side, not letting Pam Bondi get a word in edgewise and forcing her into defensive positions, which I think that, from an optics standpoint, it goes straight to your point about the soundbite seeking. But the other thing that I think was very interesting, though, is that how Pam Bondi did, I believe, an excellent job being able to ward off some of these attacks that she was being given, relentless attacks from certain Democrats on the committee, Jamie Raskin, one of them, where she was able to essentially bring up these crimes that had occurred in these Democrat representative states and ask them directly, about questions about, for example, a Democratic lawmaker from Vermont being asked about Chris Malin, the border agent that was killed last August, or even lawmakers from North Carolina being asked about Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian woman that was killed on the light rail. And so I think that she did a good job holding those Democrats' feet to the fire on those questions, because none of them had any comments about that. And I think that to Bondi's point, she's getting berated by these questions about Epstein, and she's trying her best to answer them and just facing interruptions the whole time.
Yeah, Jamie Raskin had no idea who that offender was, had no idea about the crimes. He had no idea what she was talking about. Pretty embarrassing, frankly. Let's shift over, though. I do want to talk about the Epstein files. The 2019 FBI report reveals that President Donald Trump allegedly called a Palm Beach, Florida police chief all the way back in 2006 to express gratitude for stopping Jeffrey Epstein. It means that Donald Trump not only wasn't involved with Jeffrey Epstein, but he helped propel the investigation. Your thoughts?
Yeah, isn't it interesting how just a few months ago the mainstream media was completely in disbelief about this? Whenever, albeit I think Mike Johnson had the story a little bit crossed. He made a comment saying that Trump was an FBI informant, but what this document really shows is that Donald Trump, even though he wasn't contacting the federal government, he was contacting the police, and he was making, very clear that he had some concerns about the way that Ghislaine Maxwell was behaving. He described her as pure evil, and I think that it just goes to show that way far back, even in the height, whenever investigators were really just starting to look into Epstein back in around 2005, 2006, it was something that Donald Trump, he had on the top of his mind, that he didn't want to be around this guy. And I just think that that's a excellent little bit of information that the public is getting out there, because it's really showing that the president has, since the very beginning, as soon as he knew more about Epstein's interpersonal life, that was something that he did not think belonged around his properties or Mar-a-Lago. So I think that was very interesting to see that come up.
Sure. Remarkable that the big news organizations in this country just keep feeding that narrative, though. Trump's name is in the documents. Trump's name is in the documents. And so what? Not in any tawdry way, not in any illegal way. Not in any way other than what we just saw here, where he was helping the investigation along. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, it's something that at this point, being merely named or mentioned in the Epstein documents, if you're someone that cares about the subject, but you're still on that elementary level tear saying, oh, someone's name is in the documents. I got news for you. There's a lot of people's names in the documents. Even my name shows up in the documents, albeit it's a different context because I'm a journalist and there's different DOJ records that come up there. But it's a big dragnet is the point. And that's why there's so many things out of context. But I will say on the actual investigation onto, perpetrators or potential co-conspirators, things like that, Bondi did give us a little nugget of information that I think is important to leave off on. She did say we have pending investigations in our office without getting into any specifics, but just said that there are some pending investigations. And, it's giving this intrigue about whether there's any conspirators that might be being looked into. The reason why I think this is important because we already saw Pam Bondi said several months ago that there was an SDNY investigation that was reopened into Epstein. So I think that's something to pay attention to going forward.
Kalen, greatly appreciate it. We'll keep an eye on it. Thank you for stopping in.
Appreciate it, Steve.
All right, international disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There is a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. More than any other commodity on earth, gold thrives during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold as a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text America to the number 989898 to receive your free information kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of satisfied customers. Edwards Gold help you diversify with gold so you can have peace of mind regardless of the uncertainty. Text America to 989898. Again, text America to 989898. Do it today. Coming up after the break, the University of Florida offering a sociology course that apparently teaches kids to analyze who should be allowed to have children, including discussions about transgender reproduction. Oh, yeah, more of the same coming up after this.
Exactly what they're doing. They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
January 6th wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted,
seditious conspiracy.
But behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6th like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This is not the story you were shown.
I take responsibility.
This is the story they live.
Government entrapment scheme that this actually was.
The J6 Patriots are no longer staying silent. They are speaking, they are standing, and they are telling the truth.
You can't kill us. You can't beat us.
Scan the QR code or visit RealAmericasVoice.com. Real America's Voice presents The Sleeping Giant. Available now. Welcome to Real America's Voice Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with your Real America's Voice Real Minute. Did you ever wonder what truly happened in the COVID-19 pandemic and whether Anthony Fauci would ever be held accountable? I think we all have. Filmmaker Jenner First has an upcoming documentary that searches.
All right, so the University of Florida is now offering a sociology class that goes well beyond reproductive science. The course is called Reproduction and Gender. It apparently teaches students to analyze who should be allowed to have children at all, including discussions about transgender reproduction. This isn't education, you know that. It's ideology, it's propaganda. Instead of focusing on biology, social policy, and evidence-based studies, the course pushes students to evaluate reproductive rights through a lens of identity politics. And for those who believe education should foster critical thinking and factual understanding, not shape personal beliefs, this syllabus raises serious questions about where universities are still headed. They did not get the memo. Join me to discuss campus reform correspondent Jessica Ogren. Jessica, thank you for being here. I mean, I thought we were getting past a lot of this, especially in the state of Florida, and yet here we are. Tell me about this.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, one would think that we wouldn't be here in 2026 having this conversation, and yet here we are. I was just as surprised as you were hearing that this story was coming out of Florida. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we are still dealing with these things. And Florida being a very, red state with I imagine, red student body, I can't even imagine schools like Harvard or UCLA, schools like that, what kind of stuff they're teaching in sociology courses.
Yeah. What do you actually learn in a class like this? I mean, obviously you're not learning science. You're not learning anything of value. You're being given talking points. It's not critical thinking. It's here's what you need to think. Now, how you think, how you evaluate, here's what you need to think. And I can only imagine being a conservative in that class, you're flirting with a failing grade if you speak up, probably automatically. And that's the other problem. It's the pressure to sit there, keep your mouth shut, and just do it so you can get through college. And that, too, is bad, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. It not only makes conservative students feel like they're, alone or isolated or can't share what they think, which is ridiculous since we're the ones paying for the college education. I think that it also causes problems as well. It's not just, like going to class and writing an essay to get the A. This is full on indoctrination. And as I said, campus reforms reported on this all over. It's not just Florida, and it doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. And the unfortunate part is that these are future doctors and future, policymakers. What if a doctor is being, taught in this class that men can get pregnant and then, or to go and, treat a biological man as a female? That's just going to cause a litany of other medical issues. And we're opening the floodgates with stuff like this.
Yeah, we just saw this on Capitol Hill in the last week or two. An OB-GYN doctor asked if men can get pregnant. She refused to answer the question. She dodged it over and over again. So when you talk about doctors being indoctrinated, pretty simple, Jessica. Can men get pregnant?
No. The fact that we're having this conversation is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing that we're having this conversation. The good news is transgenderism peaked in 2023, this whole concept, this whole ideology. And as most people have heard, a big case won here in the last week by a young woman who was butchered. She sued successfully the surgeon and the counselor for $2 million. That opens the floodgates to a lot more cases like that. And I think we need to see the courts filled with cases like this. I'll give you the last word.
I completely agree that doctors that have performed these surgeries, especially on minors, should be sued. Hospitals that let this happen should be sued. Unfortunately, I don't know how big of a trend that'll become, since hospitals do get a lot of money for those surgeries and for requiring someone to be on hormone therapy and on all the meds for the rest of their lives. However, I know that with my generation being the way that it is, and hopefully the future doctors that are part of my generation, this stops and it stays trending in 2022 and it doesn't continue into our later years.
I hope you're right, Jessica, and thank you for taking the time here with some common sense. Greatly appreciate you being here. Thank you. Now, before we go to break, I want to remind you that America's Music, Real America's Music, has a new release out now titled The Boss by Natasha Owens. A patriotic response to Bruce Springsteen's recent song attacking ICE and immigration enforcement. Here's a sneak peek as we head into the break.
From powerhouse vocalist Natasha Owens, known for standout singles like Trump One and Somali Waltz, comes her brand new release, The Boss, released on Real America's Music. This is the direct response to Bruce Springsteen's recent release, The Streets of Minneapolis. While Springsteen once branded himself as a voice of the working class, The Boss gives a voice to everyday Americans and reminds listeners who truly shapes the future. The Real America's Voice audience has the power to move charts and shake the industry. Download it right now. Scan the QR code or search The Boss on iTunes. Push it up the charts. Make them notice.
Exactly what they're doing. They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
6 wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted,
seditious conspiracy.
but behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6th like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This is not the story you were shown.
I take responsibility.
This is the story they live.
Government entrapment scheme that this actually was.
The J6 Patriots are no longer staying silent. They are speaking, they are standing, and they are telling the truth.
You can't kill us. You can't beat us.
Scan the QR code or visit RealAmericasVoice.com. Real America's Voice presents The Sleeping Giant. Available now. Welcome to Real America's Voice Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with your Real America's Voice Real Minute. Did you ever wonder what truly happened in the COVID-19 pandemic and whether Anthony Fauci would ever be held accountable? I think we all have. Filmmaker Jenner First has an upcoming documentary that searches.
All right, I don't like to admit it, but let's face it. None of us are getting any younger. Staying healthy is more important than ever. Millions of Americans are always looking for ways to feel better, get in shape, and improve their overall health. Today, we have a special guest, Dr. Joseph Clark, here on behalf of Pure Health Research. He's going to talk about some of the great health supplements that could increase your chances of success with your health resolutions for the year, so you can look and feel your best. And as a viewer of our program, they have an extra special deal for you as well coming up. Dr. Clark, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I know you work closely with Pure Health Research. They make some incredible health supplements. What can you tell me about them?
Absolutely. So the first thing I love is Pure Health's commitment to quality. They only use premium natural ingredients in all their nutritional formulas, and every ingredient used is proven effective by clinical studies. So you're taking something that actually works as advertised. Their formulas are non-GMO. They don't use any artificial chemicals, fillers, or preservatives. They also manufacture their supplements right here in America. So you know you're getting top quality. They offer 45 different premium supplements that are crafted to support a wide range of health needs and wellness goals. It's like having a natural pharmacy right at your fingertips.
So a lot of people struggle this time of the year if they haven't already given up. But New Year's resolutions oftentimes have faded by the time we get to February, from energy to weight to overall wellness. From your experience, what are the most common health challenges Americans face as they get older, and how can the right supplements help support better results?
Well, you have your basic recipe for health, which is you're intelligent about what you put in and on your body, and you move your body intelligently, and you sleep. You take care of those three things, and then all you need is some intelligent supplementation. So if you're having trouble with those things, the supplementation can help. It works best if you do everything concurrently. And Pure Health Research has 45 products. I'll briefly mention 3 of their best sellers. If you're struggling with liver issues, so liver issues might be because you're taking lots of pharmaceuticals or you like to drink alcohol to help you relax, okay? And they have something called Liver Health Formula, and this is a fan favorite, over 2 million bottles sold. And as the name implies, this formula supports thriving liver health. It can reduce fatty deposits in the liver, ignite metabolism to trim belly fat, and flush out harmful toxins to give you a nice boost in energy. Another thing folks struggle with quite a bit, especially as they age, and if they don't keep their movement consistent, is they have issues with lymph. So fluid retention, typically in the lower extremities, especially in their legs, ankles, or feet. And folks that experience that are going to love this natural formula. It helps flush out that extra fluid to alleviate uncomfortable swelling or tightness. It could even restore more shapely legs. Lymph system support works by promoting a healthy lymphatic system, which helps flush out extra fluid, fats, and toxins. And I would say the biggest thing that people struggle with is they struggle with their relationship with sugar. Sugar is highly addictive. I like to say sugar is the devil because what it causes is it causes peaks and drops in your metabolism and your energy and also your brain function. And this up and down, up and down, up and down leads to weight gain as well as inflammatory states. So they have a formula called blood sugar formula. And as you can probably guess, this formula helps support healthy blood sugar levels. It could also reduce appetite and crush sugar cravings, making it easier to stay away from those tempting treats. Maintaining healthy blood sugar has so many advantages, from dropping extra pounds to shrinking belly fat to boosting your energy levels. And of course, keeping your blood sugar in check can keep your vision, kidneys, heart, and circulation healthy too. But remember, they have 45 different products, so everyone will find something they actually need for what they're working on. And the best part is for the next 48 hours only, you'll save 35% on your order with coupon code VOICE when you shop at purehealthresearch.com.
There you go. Now, what makes your supplements different? I mean, you could walk into any corner pharmacy and see, 100 different supplements or more, but what makes yours different? And then how can viewers take advantage of the special offers available today?
Sure. So you have to be very discerning in the supplements that you choose. And there's two things. One is the sourcing of the raw ingredients. There's very little oversight on this. And most supplement lines choose very, very poor quality raw ingredients because they're really looking to just make the sale. And the other thing is formulation. You want to make sure that the formulation is done intelligently so that it actually acts in support of that function in your body. So this takes research, this takes trial and error, this takes application. And Pure Health Research does all these things to ensure that their products are actually what they claim they are.
Well, Dr. Clark, thank you so much for being here today. I greatly appreciate that and the great supplements you've shared with us today. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, now, if you're interested in any of the formulas Dr. Clark mentioned there, or any of the 45 they might have, go on over to purehealthresearch.com. You can find out more information about the 45 products and try them risk-free. And for the next 48 hours, you'll save 35% on your order with the coupon code VOICE. You're protected by their 365-day money-back guarantee, so you risk nothing by giving them a try. But again, this incredible 35% discount is only available for the next 48 hours. So shop and save now before it's too late. Again, go to purehealthresearch.com. Save 35% on your order with the coupon code VOICE. Coming up after the break, we'll have a story that reminds us of just how wonderful America is, plus your answers to our America's Voice question of the day. How do you think President Trump should address the cartels after that drone incident at El Paso International Airport? I'll be
exactly what they're doing. They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
January 6th wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted.
Seditious conspiracy.
But behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6th like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This is not the story you were shown.
I take responsibility.
This is the story they live.
Government entrapment scheme that this actually was.
The J6 Patriots are no longer staying silent. They are speaking, they are standing, and they are telling the truth.
You can't kill us. You can't beat us.
Scan the QR code or visit RealAmericasVoice.com. Real America's Voice presents The Sleeping Giant. Available now. Welcome to Real America's Voice Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with your Real America's Voice Real Minute. Did you ever wonder what truly happened in the COVID-19 pandemic and whether Anthony Fauci would ever be held accountable? I think we all have. Filmmaker Jenner First has an upcoming documentary that searches.
All right, what makes America wonderful? We do it every day with the hope of putting a smile on your face, and we hope we're successful. Today's story comes to us from Orange County, Florida, where sheriff's deputies are turning a tough situation into something very sweet. The Orange County Sheriff's Office used roughly $90,000 seized from convicted drug dealers to purchase an ice cream truck, not for profit, but to hand out free treats to local kids in the neighborhoods around their station. Sheriff John Mina says the idea came from a legal requirement to reinvest forfeiture funds back into the community, but also as a way to build trust between law enforcement and families. Nice touch. For many kids, this may be the first positive interaction with deputies, and the sheriff hopes it will show officers as friendly faces, not just authority figures. The ice cream truck will travel through neighborhoods, schools, and community events, offering everything from ice cream bars to popsicles, all at no cost to families. It's a program designed to turn drug money into a force for good, giving children a chance to smile, enjoy a treat, and see law enforcement in a friendly, approachable way. Brilliant. For Sheriff Mina, it's more than ice cream. It's about fostering a stronger connection between police and the community, proving that even in tough times, there's room for kindness and positive change. And that reminds us of what makes America wonderful: ingenuity, using their heads and doing something, well, really good. All right? Here's the question of the day. How do you think President Trump should address the cartels after the drone incident at El Paso's International Airport overnight? Dan Lively writes, send a few drones back. Just say hello. Of course. I think he's talking about different kind of drones. Deborah Fowle writes, do it one more time and see what happens. It's the Cartel Cancellation Project. All right. Billy Howell with Extreme Prejudice. Sam Folds III, bring the hammer down hard. This was an act of war on the homeland of the USA. Nothing is off the table, in my opinion. Mark Connor writes this, send in our drones and hit them where it hurts. You know, if we hit these cartels right between the eyes. Gary Hinton, hunt them. Eliminate the threat. Marty Kloss writes, consider it a military attack, which then opens the door for us to strike their land ops. John Hogan has this. When cartels interfere with normal activities of the country, they should be eliminated. One more, American Patriot 3054, go after them. Plenty of them here living in the U.S., though they won't get any support in Democrat-run cities. Well, look, if they come in and declare an act of war, you know the outcome. They should as well. Greatly appreciate you being here. I do. Don't forget to follow me on all the social media platforms so you too can answer the question of the day. Facebook, Instagram, X, all the normal places. And I'll be right here bright and early at 6 a.m. to kick off the broadcast on Real America's Voice, just like every Monday through Friday with the Steve Gruber Show. First news and analysis of the day with me every day. And then I'll be back here for America's Voice Live tomorrow afternoon. Until then.
Exactly what they're doing. They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
January 6th wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted,
seditious conspiracy.
but behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6th like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard.